the LE31MP. Hey everybody, Bryan Fuller here. I'm with the Lincoln Electric LE31MP, the multi-process. Man, it has a lot of functions from TIG to MIG to arc. And what we're going to show you today is flux core. What is flux core, Mr. Fuller? Well, what it is, it's a wire that has flux built into it. So you don't need a shielding gas. What you want to do is you always want to shield the weld from oxygen, because the oxygen makes a weld crack, makes it not work, makes it not stick, makes it look ugly. Some of the big advantages to flux core versus a gas weld is really, to me, the biggest one is that you can work outside. So let's say you're going to work on a gate, you're going to be working on a fence, some conditions where you're going to have less than optimal wind or debris. Flux core can really work great because you don't have to worry about even air conditioning sometimes in our shop will blow MIG gas off of a weld. So let me just show you a little bit about setting it up. You're going to have a tip that's going to be the same size as your wire. It's a little bit different than the gas tip. So if you're doing MIG with gas, this is going to be your tip. Okay. Right here, if you see where your wire is fed, once you get it in there, there's a little number here. It's going to show you 035. That 035 corresponds to the diameter of your wire. So that's 035 of an inch. And then you've also got your pressure setting here, which if you look there, you can see solid wire versus flux core wire. That number is going to correspond with this adjustment. And that's simply just the tension that you're putting on the wire. So just in case when you're here and you hit something and it's kind of like backing up, maybe your heat's not right, you got some impurities, something happens, you're not going to just rat's nest this thing and coil up, because it's pushing, but it's not pushing so much that it can't work. All right, wire feed, easy breezy. Okay, we got our settings right. If you look here, this will show you the different settings for putting in your cables on the opposite side. Most of them are going to be the same unless you're doing arc welding, or if you're going to use like an aluminum spool gun where the aluminum housing is out here. And that's a separate piece you can buy, also a really handy tool. If you were going to use that, what you want to do is look right here, there's a switch that goes from spool gun to just kind of normal MIG. And then let me whip it around for you. And you can see this is going to be your amps, volts, which is also your heat. And this is going to be your wire speed. So let's say I, spin it, it's going that fast. Then we're going to speed it up, or we slow it down. And you're trying to get that really nice kind of bacon sound is what you're usually looking for. No, don't look. I'm going to. Okay. All right. What do we got left? Just settings. So you go in here, you find your arc welding, come on over to 035. We've got 1/8 inch thick material here. We're just doing some sample welding on pretty typical 2-inch squared 1/8 inch wall steel tubing. And I think we're ready to show you a little sample. Now, one thing you want to try to get as clean as you can, of course. Safety, you want to have gloves, jacket, eyeball protection. We've got a welder, of course, set at about 10 on our shade. And then here's a weird one. First time I welded was on flux core, but I haven't welded a whole lot of flux core because in the automotive, we're normally using MIG or TIG. But our technique is going to be a pull like this. And all you MIGgers out there, it's going to be weird because you're used to actually pushing. But with the flux core, and the old saying from Mr. Prosser is, if you got slag, you got to drag. And with flux core, you have slag. So we're going to be pulling like this. So let's just do a quick little sample. Here we go. Now I'm moving along. Hey, it's so wild. Flux core is so little, it's funny. Not used to it. So you can see that, even without experience that I'm used to, it's not as pretty as the MIG with the shielding gas, but again, you know, in certain applications, this is an amazing tool and a great way to go. Now the reason that we don't push is because that flux can actually get pushed down into the root and not give you good adhesion in the base metal. I think there's some other reasons too, but anyway. All right, I'm gonna run another little bead. Let's see how that goes. Try to fill it up. This is kind of fun. Look at there. All right, fellas. Well, LE31MP is a great one. Check it out from Lincoln Electric, and I hope you're out there welding something.